Hello, TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Yeah, it's been a while. So today we're tackling manager issues. If you've got problems with your boss, you can come along. Let's talk about it. Welcome, Indoni. So how is it going at work? Tap the screen if you can. Let's discuss problems with your boss. If you don't have a problem with your boss, then that's fine. Maybe you help us to understand how you're managing all that. Yeah, people leave employers because of their bosses. So let's talk a little bit more about what's going on. We've heard about toxic bosses or toxic environment. So what causes that? Is it the boss? Is it the employees? Is it the overall company? From how you see it, what could be the problem? What's going on? What is going on at work? Okay, so that's the discussion that you're going to have today. So if you can post your comments about the situation that you're going at work, that is happening at work, how you're experiencing your boss, and I mean what's going on, what causes the toxic vibe at work, what is the problem there, so that we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. So some of the issues that come to me when I coach my clients who've got issues. Welcome, Makatlisa. Some of the problems that my clients talked about to me when they having problems at work, there are a lot, but I'm going to bring up some of them. So, for instance, communication problems at work. So maybe your boss is not talking to you or is not sharing the information with you, and there is misunderstanding, things like that. So how do you handle things like that? If your boss is not talking to you, if you are not having a very good relationship, what happens if you don't have a good relationship? So then that causes a conflict to my clients, and then the first thing that they want to do is to leave. Is that you? So another one is the different working style. So probably your boss has a different way of working or of addressing you, and this causes conflict. This causes conflict and misunderstanding. Maybe the way that his own management style or her own management style. So what do you do if there's conflict? You do not like the way your boss is managing you. Please comment. If you're experiencing any of those things, you can comment. We can find solutions together. And some of them, they come with micromanagement. That one. So your boss is always frustrating you in terms of micromanaging. They are watching every step that you're taking. They do not seem like they trust you in the workplace. They don't show that they have trust in you, in your abilities, in the work that you do. And obviously it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to deal with that. How are you dealing with it? Are you okay being micromanaged? What kind of a leadership or management style do you enjoy working with? Have you asked yourself those questions so that you understand what works for you? So another one is the whole thing of lack of recognition. Yeah, that one is a lot. I hear that a lot. When people come that they do not recognize for their hard work, they do not get to be appointed to maybe promotion levels or recognized in that sense. So what do you do? What do you do when you feel like you're not being recognized, and maybe you have not even been given feedback about how you're performing? So you don't know if you're doing things that are right or things that are wrong, but you feel like you are ignored. You are there. You are placed in the shelf. What happens? What happens when that situation comes to you? I mean, yeah, it becomes a lot. And another one is unrealistic expectations. So you're given a lot of work, perhaps, or you are stressed because maybe there isn't a lot of work on the other side, or maybe the goals that you have been put forward to you, your job spec is a lot. There's a lot on your plate. So how do you manage situations that are like that? Do you continue working, making sure that you finish everything that you need to do, or what other steps that you take so that you can help yourself if you feel like you are being given unrealistic goals or expectations? And another one is the one of favoritism. Yeah, so you've seen those ones who play favoritism, and they prefer some people but not you. So you are there. They focus on other people. They give them work. They give them acknowledgement and all those nice things, but they don't do that to you. So how do you handle something like, you know that this one is playing favoritism, and maybe it's not your fault, or maybe it is your fault? What happens there? Welcome Kuselwa. Welcome Kuselwa. And the bullying and the harassment, those ones are something else, where you feel like you're being bullied at work, you're being harassed. So how have you, what has been your strategy in terms of addressing all this? What has been your go-to? How do you make sure that you are happy at work? And I mean, you're going to meet a lot of bosses at work, and they're going to be different, and you're going to be managed differently because maybe you know how you want to be managed at work. But what happens if you do not like the way that you are managed? Have you asked yourself what kind of a leadership style? Do you prefer to be led? Is your go-to? What type of a manager that works for you? What type of a leader is good for you, that you work well with? Have you asked yourself those questions so that you know? I mean, I tell people who come to me all the time that if you're going for an interview, that thing about what kind of a leader I want to work for, it should be top of your mind, because that person is going to be somebody that is going to be managing you on a daily basis, is going to make or break your career, that leader, that boss. So in a way, that person is an important person in that company, in that role, the person that you're going to be reporting to. So then how do you deal with those people, those different personalities? Is it easy for you? Is it difficult? Are you easy to be managed? Maybe it's you. Have you been seeing a pattern where you move from this workplace to another and you just see problems with these leaders? You are finding issues, you are not happy, and your friends are asking you what's going on, and you say, this boss. And you move to another company and you say, my boss. And you move to another company number 3, the same thing. You keep saying, my boss is doing this to me. So do you sit down and understand maybe what is it that I'm doing so that, that I'm provoking these bosses or making these bosses to be like this? Or do you just have bad luck with bosses? That's how you explain it. What goes on to your mind when you keep seeing this pattern? It's a pattern for you, and yeah, you don't seem to be enjoying work because you keep meeting these people. Hi, Moleki. Welcome. Welcome, everybody who just joined. We're talking about difficult bosses. We're talking about working with people that we do not like or we do not understand. So what happens? How do you handle all that? And please tap the screen if you're finding any value so that we can discuss more about how you're handling your bosses. If you are having a tough boss right now or situation at work is not good, how you handling that? What's your strategy? What's your strategy? Because you also part of this relationship. It's a two-way relationship. It's you and your boss. They want you to do some work and you are getting paid in return. You're getting paid in return for your contribution to this company. And you spend a lot of time there. You are there 8 hours in a week, in a day. So, you want to make it more pleasant. You want to make it more enjoyable, your stay in that company. So then what happens if you deal with a micromanager? What happens if you deal with somebody who gives you a lot of work and they want it first thing in the morning? So maybe they expect you to work overnight. Is that something that is realistic for you? And is it something that you are managing? What's your struggles with all that? Because I know that it can be difficult. It can be very hard to navigate. So that's what we're talking about. And if you are here in this live and you're listening to me and you're finding issues with all that I just said, you're welcome to go into my bio and book an appointment so that we can have a 101 chat and we can find solutions for you and help you. As I said, the people who usually have these issues, the first thing that they think is to let me look for another job. But is there another way that you can handle this? Have you asked yourself if you can find other solutions? Because other situations are there to teach you something. Are there to teach you something about yourself and about how to deal with things. They're a training ground, basically. So, if you come for a session with me and we unpack what's going on in your workplace, and then we identify that maybe it's you, maybe it's the way you show up at work, or maybe your boss is, see it the other way, because it's not only one way. Because remember, you'll be telling me your own side of the story. So then, if we look and we put yourself in your boss' shoes, how does that look like? So all I'm saying is, working with people, being in the workplace, whether it's your first time there or you've been there for a long time, but you have not worked on these things. Because if you continue not working on yourself, growing yourself, personal development, identifying your areas of weaknesses, maybe there's issues with interpersonal skills, there's issues with you taking instructions, there could be a lot. There's issues with you dealing with authority. There's quite a number of issues that could come, or areas of weakness that you can explore and see if maybe I need to work on this. Because I've been seeing it as a pattern. I mean, when we go to interviews, we say, I can work with people, I'm dedicated, I go in there and I want to contribute to this company. So to do all that, you're going to have to work with people. You're going to have to be in other people's business, and your boss is going to require something from you, and you're going to require something from your boss. So then, how do you make this relationship work for you? Is it easy? No, I mean, you have not seen this person. Maybe you are brand new in that workplace. You don't know that person. You're going to have to learn the person. They're going to have to learn you, understand how you work, understand how the person works, which is now your boss. So then how do you work together now? Because also the two of you now, you form a team. So how do you work together? Are you expecting a perfect boss? I don't know. Maybe you also have unrealistic expectations. Or you expecting a person who's also flawed. How do you make it work? What is it that you can do to make it work? Or maybe it is your time to leave. That's still fine. That's still fine. Depending if you've exhausted all other options, or you've looked into yourself, you've looked at the situation objectively. Other people, they involve HR. What is your strategy? What is your strategy? I mean, people have a lot of strategies, and do you fight for yourself? Do you advocate for you? Do you say these are my rights? Do you speak up? Other people, they don't even speak up. Other people, they don't even speak up if they've got issues with their bosses. So then, So how do you navigate all these things? It's not easy. It's not easy dealing with a difficult boss. It's not easy at all, and hence people, they come for help. People they really seek for help. Whether you have mentors, whether you have coaches, someone like me who can assist you, your friends, because you need to also talk about it. You need to really talk about it. Like, this is a situation that I'm facing, and I feel stuck. I don't know how to handle this person. Hello, coach. How are you doing? So those are the things that as you are starting with your career, if you're brand new or you've been at work, you need to navigate working with bosses, different personalities, different working style, different leadership style. Others, they believe that they are the boss. Others, they believe that they are the leaders. They inspire you to change or to do the work to the best of your abilities. So then that's what we're talking about today. And it is tricky because human beings are not easy, and people are complex, because sometimes you taking it as very personal. But maybe it's not personal at all. It is work. Maybe other person sees it as business. We are here, we're doing business. Let's work. You wanting maybe more, you want to see this environment as family oriented. You want to be buddies and friends with your boss. And maybe they don't see it like that. Or maybe your boss wants to be your friend. You don't want to be the friend. So how do you assess the whole thing and have your own tools, your strategies when you start working, when you go into a new environment, or when you are there for a long time, you're struggling with bosses. How do you navigate it? Because there's also another part of it that's very important, is your own self-assessment, your own being more self-aware about how you contribute to the situation, which I advocate it a lot when I'm doing coaching with people. Taking responsibility, basically. What are you willing to be responsible for in this relationship? Because remember, you're also helping yourself. You are there 8 hours. It's not easy. Are you going to rule it out and say it's a toxic environment, I'm leaving? Or are you going to do something about it? And what are those things that you're going to do? So I'm going to discuss few things that you can do to assist yourself. It's still a work environment, so you need to remain calm and professional. Yes, you're having this problem, and yes, it's affecting you in this way. So then there's still work that needs to be done. You have work to need to be done, and maybe you're still thinking about ways to address this. Maybe you approach a coach, maybe you approach your mentor, your friend, your family members, just to work around this issue, to try to find ways. So another step that you need to do, as I said, you still need to continue working and being productive, because you're still getting paid at the end of the month. So you need to work. So then another step that you can take, depending how much you have worked on yourself, are you brave enough to approach your boss and discuss the situations? Communicate with your boss, set up a meeting, and explain your side, how you see the situation, basically. So having that honest conversation just to understand what's going on. If you feel you've been micromanaged, you find a way of addressing that. If you feel like there's a lot on your plate because you're working too much, the volume is high, and you do not know how to deal with it. For you, it comes across as unrealistic expectations. So you talk about that. You really talk about that. So you listen to your boss, you understand where it's coming from, and the whole point of talking is for you to find a common ground, because you want to work here. Maybe you still love the company, maybe you still love your job very well, but your boss, this relationship is strained. Then it makes sense for you to find solutions, to have a discussion, to be bold enough to have a discussion. So that discussion, people who come for coaching to me, then we talk about this discussion, how it's going to look like and what you want to say and things like that, because you really want to find solutions, and you want to appear professional, and you want to appear as somebody who wants to find solutions, who wants to find a common ground, meet somewhere in the middle with your boss. And if the situation becomes too much, there's also HR, where you involve HR. HR is always there, and I know a lot of people, they don't trust HR. So there's always HR if you need to find some advice on how to handle things like this. And there's also, if it becomes too much, then you need to document, have a record of what's going on. If you really feel like you're being victimized here, you record everything that is going on, because you want to build a case for you. Maybe you want to take it to HR, or maybe you want to take it to CCMA. I don't know how far you want to take this, depending on your discussions with your boss, how it went, what's going on here in this company. And as I said, I mean, there's always an option of getting another view, because you've been so involved in this situation, day in, day out, you're not sleeping. So you might be reading this situation wrong. You may not be seeing things the way they are. So maybe you need someone who's more objective. You need a coach. You need somebody who's going to have a look in this situation. And probably not your colleagues. I don't know. I don't know. Because you don't want to be gossiping around here. So as I said, you really need to seek support. Also for you as well, your emotional support that you would need, because it's difficult. And there's nothing wrong with talking to your colleagues as well. If you find somebody that you can trust at work, a friend at work as well. And another point is you really need to be seeking solutions, as I said. Possible solutions, constructive feedback, things that can help you move forward, because you are stuck. So what are your options then? What are your options? And take proactive steps to reduce your stress levels as well. So there's a lot of things that you can do as well there to take care of yourself, especially it's very toxic and you don't see solutions. Perhaps maybe you are too stressed. There's also therapy as well. So really find solutions, find something that is going to work for you. If exercise helps you with stress, go all out exercise, because you're trying to get yourself to a better state and you're trying to be more productive even in this workplace, even though maybe you'll be trying to find solutions. Maybe you want exit strategy. So then how do you deal with yourself while you're still there? You need to also consider all that. And what about other options as well? So like, for instance, being transferred to another role, another company, in another unit, business unit within the company. Finding a new job, that's also there. You have an option for you to find a new job. If you're not happy where you are, you're not a tree, you can move. At the same time, look at the situation more objectively and just try find solutions that would work for you. Because I can tell you stay, but this is not what you want. You want out. Sorry about that. Please tap the screen if you're finding value, so that more people can see this. Tap the screen and like and follow for more tips on your career, personal development, personal mastery. So those are the things that help other people. But each case will be very unique, as you know. It will be based on how severe is the situation, what's been going on. And it's always useful to tackle it very early. So when you start seeing the problem, try find solutions then. Because most people, they wait until it's very... They also don't feel motivated, or their relationship is broken altogether. So you need to also have a way of addressing it very early. If you start seeing those red flags, and then start doing something about it. Start reflecting on what's going on. As I said, I mean, in every workplace, there's always an area of growth for you, your own personal growth. So what is your lesson that you are here to learn, for instance? So that's important. That's important. I mean, I'm done with the list and the solutions. It's very important for you to find solutions for you and to identify the lessons. What are you learning there? How is this thing going to grow you and help you to for another role, your next employer? So that's my story about dealing with difficult bosses. Thanks for those who stayed until, right now. I mean, we're finishing off. Thanks for being here. I am back on TikTok. It's not easy when you've been gone for a long time to do these lives. But yeah, I'm trying to do them regularly just to touch base on how your career management or development or growth or your own personal growth. Let's see how we can assist you. But my bio is always open. I mean, I have a 30 minutes discovery call to assist people. If you need to talk about something or if you need to try coaching, then we can do that. We can see how it goes, see if it's for you. Because also remember, coaching as well, you need to be prepared to change. You can't just come to coaching meetings and think that it's going to be easy, because that's also your own personal growth to help you grow. So you need to be prepared for change. And if you are in this situation, if you're really having a very, very bad boss or toxic environment and you want a way out, we can also discuss that. How can you find a proper job, a nice job that you can enjoy? So that's also a good option that we also discuss in coaching meetings, just to assist you to get to where you want to be. Thank you so much. You must have a good day. I will come in again regularly. Thanks and have a nice day. Cheers. How do I close this now?